and Delhi did their homework well in spite of coming from the Mumbai wicket. They, I would not say they outplayed Mumbai, but they beat Mumbai hands down in their own den. I have a star-studded guest panel here, led by none other than South African player Joe Paul Demini. Welcome to the show, Joe Paul Demini.
Thanks, Anis. Thanks for having me. I'm sure you're looking forward to the next couple of weeks with the IPL. It's exciting.
Great. And I also have my analyst, Naresh, Mumbaika must be disappointed, and two fans, Nitesh, happy man from Delhi, and Ajay, a little sad. But we'll first start with JP. Mumbai, in the last 4 games in Chennai, they've stumbled, but they have found a way to win. But today, it was something else.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, you look at the start that they had, and Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit Sharma, the captain, they were building quite a good partnership. And if you look back to last year's successful tournament that they had, there was a big reliance on that middle order. The middle order was the engine room that really produced the goods for them. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to fire just yet. But the quality of the Pandya brothers, Pollard, that they're going to fire at some point. And that's something that I was listening to Rohit Sharma in his post-match there. He was talking about, understanding the surface and making smarter decisions. And obviously, you think back to last year playing in the UAE. Obviously, the tracks were a little bit easier from a batting perspective. Obviously, playing in Chennai, we know what it's about. It's slow, it turns. The dew factor plays a part as well. So yeah, they're going to need to have some hard conversations about a style of play and also being able to address that middle order, because as we know that's the engine room. So just allows that top order to play with freedom.
Well, just for all our fans, JP had made, if I'm not wrong, after Deccan Chargers, his debut with Mumbai, or what was it, Deccan first, JP?
I actually started in Mumbai, 2009.
Almost $1 million baby.
And played 2 years there, then moved to Sunrisers, then moved to Delhi, and then back to Mumbai. Yeah.
And mind you, even captain Delhi.
I did. I had the privilege of captaining, I think it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't a good year for us, but what a privilege it was to captain an IPL team, yeah.
All right. I'll just come to my other analyst, Naresh. Mumbai seems to be making the same mistake. 4 matches in a row, the middle order not able to capitalize on the good start, or the opening batsman probably throwing it away?
Yes, Anis, 159 to 137, that's been the journey of these 4 games. So it's definitely a bit worrisome. Hope it is limited to Chennai, this kind of performance currently, which, as JP mentioned, that needs to be, there's one more game to go. This should have been a bit corrected earlier. But yes, again, a good start. Sky is too good to be giving off his wicket this way. That's a bit disappointing. He's in such kind of conditions. He's supposed to be the mainstay. He's got good starts earlier too. But after that second wicket goes, and then the middle order is not settling down. Hardik Pandya was a disappointing shot today. You need to settle down. We saw that little glimpse even in the Delhi innings, Shikhar Dhawan doing what Nitish Rana did. So you need to settle down to play long innings over here. That's very critical, and that's unfortunate. It's 2-all now for Mumbai and Chennai. But I feel for one game left, some hard decisions should be made. We need to relook at the middle order only for that one game, who can give you that little stability to play long.
All right. I have this happy Nitesh Lakhani. For all your information, JP is a fantastic DJ. He makes people dance to his tunes. And today when he sent his video, he said, my Delhi team is going to beat Mumbai. We have a star-studded batting attack. And what a game of cricket you guys played, Nitesh.
It is lovely to see the team come out and play like that. To be honest, the past few games for Mumbai, they've been under some sort of pressure and they've pulled it off towards the end of it. But the middle order for them not really clicking is a big worry. And, going into the game, I really thought if, they don't bat that well towards the middle order, then you can definitely restrict them to somewhere around 140, 150. And that's exactly what the team did. And to chase down 140, 150 with the kind of lineup that Delhi has shouldn't be that big of a task. But then, yeah, to my surprise, they did end up in some sort of a pickle towards the end. But yeah, I'm so happy that they pulled it off.
Let me come to a dejected Ajay. I remember when Rohit Sharma was flying high, he sent me a message. You see, I told you that Rohit Sharma is the guy who's going to click. The moment he sends me a message, next ball Rohit Sharma throws it away. What do you want to say, Ajay?
Well, the hopes were very high, and I was so excited. I was like, okay, see, Anis bhai, my video came right. I told you in the morning at 10 o'clock that Rohit Sharma was going to. He was almost on 44, and the next ball he gets out. But I think that was really, really, irresponsible shot. I mean, he's the mainstay, and he's the top orders depends on him and Surya Kumar, right? So if someone has to take the, I mean, this is Mumbai Indians. This is not. This is the other, like how you have world champions. They are the IPL defending champions, They need to pull up their socks. Like I think I spoke to you, Anis bhai, last time when Mumbai lost also. I think I should only speak to you when they win now, So it's just a jinx, but very, very disappointing. Trust me. I mean, this team with this batting lineup, with this amazing bowling, but what the bowling can do if the score is not there. So I feel very, very dejected, very sad. But, this smile is, why? Because today I'm speaking to Anis bhai A. Plus I can see one of my childhood. I mean, I've grown up watching JP Dumini and AB de Villiers. This is the South African. The genius is next to me, and I see a Dinesh Karthik look-alike in Nitesh Lakhani.
So, absolutely. I think that the dummy of Dinesh Karthik. Anyway, mind you, Ajay and Nitesh, I'm going to play a small game. Your team must have lost on the field, and your team must have won on the field. We're going to have a quick quiz with you. But first, let me come to JP. JP, yep. What makes Mumbai franchise so very good? They have been dominating IPL after the time they started winning from 2013. What do you think as a player that makes them as a franchise so solid?
Yeah, thanks, Anis. That's a good question. And first and foremost, let me say this. I think there's a family feel to them. All right. So when you get selected to play and represent Mumbai, you feel accepted and wanted within the environment. It doesn't matter what your pay packet is. There's an attention to you as a person, as a player. They give the same amount of respect and attention to the player that hasn't played a game as opposed to Rohit Sharma, the captain. There's no egos. The leadership there are very much one that's creating a good culture. And I think for any sustainable and a successful environment and organization, even a team, starts with a good culture. So that's the first and foremost. And I think there's such an attention to detail when it comes to roles and responsibility for each and every player. So there's a lot of homework and research that goes into the type of players they want. Making sure that the personalities match the players as well. So that's the kind of research that they go through. And obviously they've worked out a formula that works for them. There's a great group of experience as well as youth, and there's a great camaraderie within the management as well as the players. And obviously we know that the owners, they heavily involved in the culture and representing the team, particularly if they win or lose. There's a representation in that environment from the ownership and encouraging them, speaking to them. So all these factors come into play. And I think, just a well-oiled organization that have worked out a winning formula and have managed to sustain it for a long period of time. There's been some changes here and there when it comes to management, yes, but the core from a player's perspective has really stuck, obviously led by Rohit Sharma, and that is a recipe for great success going forward for them.
Well, that's pearls of wisdom from none other than JP Dumini, who's played 83 matches and scored 2,000 runs in the IPL and has had the decent average of 40. Naresh, I'm sure you'll endorse what JP has said.
Oh, absolutely. And the pride the team carries representing Mumbai Indians, there is definitely a lot of healthy competition within the players who make into the franchisee, and then what good they need to do to get into the 11 to play the game, or a match. Very important, the culture and the aggression. And you do feel for this team, because these 4 games have been on a wicket where they have had to hold their instinct, their natural instinct of being aggressive. What we saw in UAE last year, the success story of Hardik and Pollard hitting at about 180, 190 strike rate, that middle order getting them those scores and winning games also. I very closely still remember RCB Mumbai, the first game when Ishan and Pollard got together to take them to the total of 200 and then get into a super over. So yes, it's the conditions, but they need to adapt to it. And I think this team has it in them to get those changes in the approach to quickly be there. It's nothing panicking at this point of time. They're still in the top four. They've started well. I think once they move into the other cities, though they would still face slower pitches, definitely Delhi would be one of them. But yes, they have the potential of coming back quickly. The bowlers have done very, very well, but yeah, can't expect the same all the time. The batsmen have to really step up now.
JP, since you have been a captain of Delhi and you've seen how Delhi, chased their target today. Like they were chasing 137, but they did not do the same mistake that SRH or KKR did. If you have to give credit to Steven Smith and Dhawan.
100%, and also in terms of selection. So if you think back to when I say selection, I'm talking more your batting order. Sending Steve Smith in at number 3 to kind of create a partnership. He has the experience, he has the know-how of how to play spin well. So sending him at number 3 and just giving the team a good base, because I mean he scored 33 of 29, so it's just above a run a ball. But on a surface like that, and also the context of the game, the nature of the wicket, you understand how important that 33 is. And obviously Dhawan, he's the orange cap holder firstly, but also what was a critical moment in that game was actually the strategic timeout. And that over after the strategic timeout, Chahar was bowling, and you saw that the left-hander made the decision, obviously based upon a conversation that they had in the timeout, to try and be the aggressor there, because that was a perfect matchup for the left-hander. And you saw that he was trying to dominate and trying to make that a big over. Unfortunately, he got out, yes, but in the context of the game and also the conditions and the matchup, I thought that was right thinking. And at times, you've got to ask yourself the question, there's two questions you have to ask when something doesn't go wrong. When something goes wrong, you got to ask yourself, was the thinking right? And was the execution right? So if the thinking right, you can handle the execution, because that's something that you can practice. But if the thinking's wrong, that develops into a discussion. So that was a great strategy from Delhi point of view, trying to put the sort of give the punch back to Mumbai, because they were kind of in the game at that point in time. There was a difference of 10 to 12 balls, and now all of a sudden they're trying to get after it. So that was a critical moment. And obviously there was some jitters with losing that wicket of Dhawan, but in the end, I think it was Lalit Yadav and Shimron Hetmeyer got them over the line, which was always going to be a difficult chase on that kind of surface. So you've got to take your hat off to them. Batting second and winning a game is never easy in Chennai.
So well said by JP that if you have the thinking right, the execution automatically falls in place. Sometimes it might not, but if you have the right thinking, you might more often than not succeed. Now let me come to the both fans, Nitesh and Ajay. Are you quite ready to go and battle it out off the field?
Yes, definitely.
Naresh, Nitesh, I'll start with you because you are the team has won the match. I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions, and you have your mobile, blah, blah, blah. You can easily copy and give me the answer.
All right.
My first question, Amit Mishra's 3 wickets. Which all wickets he took? 5 seconds
He took
to you.
4, right?
He took 4, Anis. Come on, get
4.
it right.
All right. No, I'm just trying to give him 3 wickets.
I should get 1 point.
It's a
just for
googly
that.
question.
Okay, give me three answers. Come on.
Rohit, Ishan Kishan, and Khalid Pollard.
Spot on. Ajay, to you. Who was the highest scorer for Mumbai?
Rohit Sharma.
Okay, 1-all. Nitesh, second question to you. Who was the bowler who got the wicket of Surya Kumar Yadav?
Avish Khan.
Superb. My second question to you, Ajay. Who was the man of the match today? Come on. It's very easy. The guy who got the wicket.
Amit Mishra. Too late.
Anyway, this one I will probably give it to Nitesh. You're a bit late. So last question to you, Nitesh, who was captaining when Rohit Sharma was out for the Mumbai? This is for the opposition. I'm asking you, who captained Mumbai Indians when Rohit Sharma was out of the field?
Karen
Surya
Pollard.
Yadav Kumar. No, Kumar.
Yeah,
Surya
Surya
Yadav
Kumar.
Kumar.
No, it was Karen Pollard.
Karen Pollard.
So he
Karen
tried to
Pollard, yeah.
confuse you, but nonetheless,
I was
I
right
think Nitesh
there.
has won it. Ajay, I give you the last question. Let's see whether you can pull this off.
No.
All right. Who's the coach of Delhi?
Stephen
Ricky
Smith.
Ponting. Ricky Ponting.
All right. So it's a 2-all. Both of them are the winners, but I'll have to give it to Nitesh. His team has won, so it's a tie. You got to give it to the winning team. Well played, guys. Thank you once again, all of you. It was a fantastic beginning to have JP on our show. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you, Ajay. And I'm sure you'll have another good day to smile, Ajay. Make sure about that you don't jinx your team early.
Yeah, to be
Just
very soon,
waiting
very
to wear the Mumbai jersey and come and speak to you. I'm purposely not wearing that because you're not wearing it.
AJ, are you going to sleep tonight?
soon.
I think I
Brilliant.
met you today. I'll have a very good sleep.
Brilliant, guys. We'll have JP very often on our show. Thank you so much. Take care
Thank
of
you for having
yourselves.
us.
Take
Thank
care.
you, Anish.
Thank you,
Bye.
Anish.
Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
JP. Bye.
JP. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.